So, my wife worked for her for a year and a half. Basically the worst experience of her life. And, during this whole time, again, we're all living together under the same roof. She and I are getting to know each other better. We're talking about getting married because we just really love each other. We do get engaged. So, again, that whole time, not too bad. Again, I'm used to it. I'm used to the way my mom behaves. So I just almost kind of, I'm telling my wife, well, doing what my dad did. That's just my mom. Just go with it. It's a lot easier if you just go with it, and then she'll just leave you alone. And because that's all I knew to do. That was my defense mechanism. If I tried to fight or argue with my mom, it just always ended in me apologizing. Even though we might have started the argument and I felt that she was wrong, I always ended up apologizing. So the more that my wife and I got close, so we got engaged, we start planning the wedding. It just gets crazy. My mom just cannot stop meddling in everything to do with the wedding. She wants to have an opinion on everything. She wants to be involved with everything. It gets to the point where, my wife just said one day, she just said, it'd be nice to do some of these like wedding planning things, like with just you and I. It is our wedding after all. Can we just do some of these things privately? And I thought about it and I approached my mom about it. The minute that I mentioned it to my mom, that maybe there was a couple things that we wanted to do by ourselves, literally, she just ran upstairs, slammed the door, throwing a tantrum. And I'm like, what is going on? So I go up and I'm like, Mom, are you okay? And she's just pissed. Ridiculous. And it's just more and more examples, on and on and on. I'll just skip ahead because this is where it just gets worse. Obviously, we get married. My wife and I get married. So we decide to move out, right? Don't want to live with your parents. So we move out. We get an apartment together. Everything seems great. But my mom just always tried to instigate, find ways to pick apart not our relationship. She's much more clever than that. And I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on this because the manipulation, she's very covert. You can't really catch her doing anything because she's the queen of deniability. She'll just deny it. And then, like I said, by the end of the conversation, I'm apologizing to her because I get backed into a corner where I realize that if I don't apologize, this conversation's now never going to end. I'm just going to be on the shit list and I'll just be stuck here, endlessly being blamed for things that, I have no business being blamed for, but, she can pull things out of thin air. I remember I told you to do this. I told you to clean the shed a week ago. What happened to that? I don't remember having that conversation. I don't remember having that conversation. So let's flip it. Hey, Mom, remember I told you that I was going to be doing this? I don't recall that. That was it. If she didn't remember it, it didn't happen. So maybe you know a little bit about that. Okay, so, I grew up in California and I live in North Carolina. Okay, so, we'd been in an apartment for a while and we wanted to buy a house. Wasn't necessarily doable. So we started looking around and we just kind of decided we kind of really hate our situation here anyway. We really wanted to get some distance and kind of a fresh start. So we moved to North Carolina, 3,000 miles away. So here's the thing. Distance alone did so much to help heal. Just getting away from this person who... So maybe you know this term, FOG, fear, obligation, and guilt. Okay, so I told you that my mom loved to use the word, loved to identify a relationship as having respect, right? And love. And I can tell you honestly, any time I think about our relationship, any time we spent together, any emotions, they are either fear-based, obligation, or guilt. Okay? So that's FOG, fear, obligation, and guilt. That's all I really know when it comes to my mom. I'm either doing something because I'm afraid of the consequences, I'm doing something because I feel obligated, right? Because she makes you feel like crap if you don't do it. Or I feel guilty because, again, she treats me to such nice things. She'll buy me this, or she affords me this opportunity, and I feel like I owe it to her, even though she's expressed to me that she's giving something unconditionally. I know that to not be the case. So we moved to North Carolina, and I can't even express to you the amount of relief just having that distance. So we bought our first house a year later, and my mom wanted to come visit. My wife was pregnant with our first child. So, I agreed, and she came out to visit. And after having the distance, you see with such clarity how toxic a person is. I was in it for so long, and that's all I knew. And it was like the minute that she came around, all those feelings of hate, I don't want to say hatred, but I didn't enjoy being around her. And if you know that feeling, you're with a narcissist. If you don't enjoy the way you feel, if you don't like how you feel, if you don't enjoy your time that you're spending with them, why are you spending time with them? That's horrible. And it was like the minute she came to visit, the couple days that she was here was just awful. And I didn't even get why she wanted to be here, because it was clear that my wife and I did not even feel comfortable or want her here. But I do know why she wanted to be there. She was looking to reinsert herself to try to regain control. Our first house was not nice. The kitchen had mice problems, and it was disgusting. My mom offered to pay for a new kitchen, basically a kitchen remodel. Really nice, right? Sounds great. New appliances, new countertops, new cabinets, the works. She was ready to do it. And I knew that the minute she offered that, I just said, Mom, absolutely not. I said, this is our experience. I appreciate the offer, but we're going to figure this out on our own. She hated that. One of the few times I ever turned her down, said no to her. And it was shortly after that she left. And it was probably 3 or 4 months later, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I couldn't deal with trying to manage having a relationship with her. And I finally just decided to go no contact. Had done a lot of research on it, trying to deal with narcissists, and you got to go no contact. These people are toxic. They will not change. Okay, you have to understand this. They will not change. They do not believe that, they don't see that what they do is wrong. They don't believe that what they're doing is wrong. You're not crazy. You're not alone. I'm somebody who took a long time to get to this point. Okay, my wife helped me a lot, and she gave me a lot of support and a lot of encouragement that this was the right thing for us. And I knew that it was because it felt right. Again, I can't express to you how good I've felt since moving from California. I established a career on my own terms. I made, not from handouts. I made my own decisions, good decisions, bad decisions, but they were my decisions. And I learned how to kind of deal with the stresses in life that my mom never let me handle. So I was pretty unequipped to deal with the realities of the world after I got married. So I've had to learn the hard way. But at the same time, I've gained so much in my time here. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm an authentic version of myself, at least for the last 5 years. And I'm hoping so much to be able to have this channel be a place where we can talk about these things, share these things. I'm still going through them. Again, I'm creating this video in this channel because I've been having some emotions, some anger, some guilt, right? I have 2 young boys who've never seen their grandmother. And it's frustrating that I don't get to let them enjoy that experience. And it's very difficult because I want them to, but I'm afraid that my mom's going to use them to manipulate them against me, against us, or anything in between. I don't want them exposed to her. And that breaks my heart because it sounds awful and it makes me feel bad. It's not the person that I want to be. But I also don't consider her a safe person. This channel is going to be a place for us to discuss all of these things. Please share with me what you're going through. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to be coming out with videos going more in depth with and giving more examples of just what I've been through. So that way, hopefully, you can compare what you're going through. It really helps to know and hear what other people have been through. So you can rationalize, kind of what you're going through and compare it, because you don't owe these people anything, okay? And here's like one of the biggest takeaways that I have. Just because they're your family, abuse is abuse, and you don't deserve to be abused. It's that simple. Too many people stay in the abuse because they think they have to, and that's wrong. You don't have to. You deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be safe. Hopefully you enjoyed today's content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.